Well, I was really lucky that we got to work with Mandy, who's had done this incredible podcast and really done a deep dive and interviewed a lot of people that knew Maggie. But it was funny, even looking at like the family photos, she liked a family photo, but the little snippets of video, she's the videographer. I mean, I think part of her story is that kind of classic story of that woman, that a little bit old world woman who's raised to be a mom and to support the family, to take care of the kids, to take care of the husband. And, there's something in that you give up part of your life in service in a way to a lot of people to make their dreams come true, to fortify them. So that was part of what I thought was interesting to explore in this was how is it for a woman who is indoctrinated to think that this is what she should do, stay in this marriage, make this family work, take care of this family. And yes, she got a lot of nice things in that. There's a lot of privilege in that family, but also the kind of disturbing realization that you don't really know who you're married to. Well, even the family tradition is like people stay. And men make mistakes and men stray, and there's betrayals and there's heartbreak and there's wildness, and it's all kind of normalized. It seems like, from the periphery, but it's interesting to me because in this, we wanted to have more of a coffee table kind of approach to this, like a kitchen table approach. Like, what is this family like? When you start seeing things, the threads start coming off and the weave starts unraveling and you start seeing what's going on. And it's a big deal, I think, for her to kind of start breaking away from that, the only thing she ever knew, which was to be a mom and a wife. Well, I think we've always been interested in crime. I mean, Shakespeare wrote about crime, the Greeks wrote about Greek tragedies and crimes. So I think it's always been a part of what's fascinated us because family is supposed to be the safe place. It's not supposed to be the place where you're most in danger. Um, and yet, the reality is, most women who are murdered in America are murdered by their intimate partners. To work with Aaron was so amazing, and also Michael, and then to have access to Mandy and all the interviews that she had done, and the deep dive that she had done, to even learn things about Maggie, like that she kept her cash in a plastic bag in her purse, or what she would, that she liked to make like biscuits and things that she would cook for the kids, or drinks she would have, or all this kind of stuff. It's funny because you jump into a project and you have to kind of establish 20 years because they got together when they were in college, very young, and he was wild. And I think she sees some of the aspects of his youth and his wildness and his privilege and his getting away with everything in her son, one of her sons. And so we just kind of got along right away. And he was so charismatic, and that he really had that thing that he's charming and he's the daddy and he's taking care of things and he loves you, but he's naughty and he's the bad boy and he's manipulative and he's deceptive, but then he's a whining crybaby and then he wants that. I'd done a deep dive really into like pathological personalities, but also the way the victims start awakening to that. So it was really interesting for me to see how charming and likable he was, and that's so scary.